I've been chilling in the Zhao waiting room, and as a Genshin simp I am, I decided to check on some Genshin news to see if there was anything interesting on the horizon. And I got hit with the question, is Amber getting a 5-star revamp? Nah, but she might as well considering Ganyu is stealing her whole swag. Now to preface this, I like Amber, like a lot. In fact, she's one of my favorite characters kit-wise to play as, and the only issue is that she's generally a trash character. Now I get it. But see, there's vids of Amber one-shotting bosses and doing like 700,000 damage in one charge shot. Yeah, I know, but not all of us want to min-max grind for 3 weeks just to one-shot a Hilichurl for a Twitter clip. I'd much rather spend my time farming for shit that I can use on characters that are actually decent. So when I saw Ganyu is basically the second coming of Amber, I was definitely interested. In case you haven't seen the last 70 videos talking about her on YouTube, mine included, here's a quick rundown. Her charge shot is basically has 2 stages, and the second stage shooting out a frost arrow that hits enemies and bounces up and explodes. The shit looks tight. And it does ice damage, whatever. Her ability is literally Amber and Mona's, where you drop it, it taunts. Not sure how an ice flower makes enemies mad, but I mean, Genshin that works, so there you go. The only difference is that it hurts enemies when you put it down. So instead of just tossing out little rabbit dude, hers actually hits you and then taunts. Her ult, in my opinion, the best part of her kit, summons a big ass ice area that drops little icicles down on enemies. Yes, it's the same thing as Amber's Rain of Arrows, but just straight up better. Unlike Amber's ult, it has a way bigger area and the duration is 15 seconds. Unlike Amber, you sneeze, her shit's gone. Now that we got all that out the way, I have to admit, I really like this character. At the end of the day, Xiao's got her beat and hype, and Ayaka, she's probably got my vote for Ice Character of the Year, but she's not bad. Ganyu is not bad. Like I said, I already like Amber. She's dog shit, so I never have a reason to play her outside of me wanting to use the Amos pull I pulled that one time. And I generally don't like making the game unnecessarily hard on myself just to prove some dipshit point that I can use her even though she's bad. So, Ganyu is like the answer that is hidden behind a 90 pull paywall. So cause she's basically just Amber on paper. But we don't know how she's actually gonna be when she actually hits the game. So we gotta wait until then. Until now that we've got what we got. I don't think she's the savior of the archer character role, because that's a shit ton of weight to put on one character, and look how that went for Zhongli. Dude's literal garbage other than his ult. So I don't know, but I personally feel like she's good enough as a DPS archer user, because we don't really have those. Most of them, with the exception of Fischl, are just strictly supports. And she has the potential to be self-sufficient and only needs one constellation to do that. And I've also seen a lot of comments about how she's constellation locked and how she's a whale bait character, because oh my god, you need her constellations for her to be good. Like, I don't know if I can't read or something, or maybe I'm delusional, but nigga, she is not chilled. A lot of y'all like to keep saying she's suffering from the chilled syndrome. She's not. Like, I don't think y'all really understand. That nigga chilled literally had a 40-second cooldown on his E if you waited too long. Like, until they fixed his ass. They had to fix that. I had to deal with that shit. So, looking over Ganyu's constellations, I mean, a lot of it is just quality of life. Like, that shit's not stuff that'll actually send her over the top. In fact, I'd really argue that she only has really 2 damn good constellations that'd be worth going for, in my opinion. The first constellation, basically you hit someone with their fully charged shot, and it'll remove 15% of her, of the enemy's cryo resist. And that is really good, obviously, because that's where a large chunk of her damage is. The second one being her 4th constellation. Essentially, her 4th constellation just drops down. Whenever you drop your ult down, it hits the enemies. They take 5% increased damage from all sources, and that can stack up to 25%, and it does that every 3 seconds they're in her ult. So the math works out. You throw your little taunt in there, and it'll help you debuff the enemy so that you can do more damage in general. This helps her support, but once again, all of this shit makes her self-sufficient. And I forgot to mention, on her first constellation, you generate energy every time you hit enemies with her fully charged shot on her constellation. Now, I've seen a lot of people once again saying like, oh my god, she's like constellation lock because you need all 6 constellations. Like, no, she's not, bro. Like, her 6th constellation is almost overkill, because what her 6th constellation does is it removes the charge up period for her charge shot. That's pretty much it. Like, that might double her DPS in theory, yeah, of course, but it's not really needed. Like, as it stands right now, the way I see it, you can probably get away with just 1 constellation. In fact, I'm debating on whether or not I want to do just 1 constellation or 2 constellations. Yes, I am going to pull for her. I probably should be waiting for Zhao, but that nigga's not coming out till February, so fuck it. Like I said, I'm a Genshin simp. I like getting characters. I'm gonna go for it. Now, her 2nd constellation, also, that to me is pretty damn important. Like, it'll give you a secondary taunt, and as it stands now, her entire kit is built around you run up, you drop your taunt, you run back, you fully charge your shit, you hit them with that. If you have her ult up, then you drop that on top of them, and you'll just be shredding their shit with ice damage, from what I've seen. Now, in practice, like I said, this could be very, very different, but it's literally Amber. Like, literally Amber. Only her constellations actually give her a focus point on what you should and shouldn't be doing. The problem with Amber is that her constellations don't necessarily support what she's supposed to be doing. A lot of her damage is front loaded into her charge shots, headshots, or just being an ult bot. Now, I do have to bring up some of the cons for Ganyu. The main one being, like, her oh so important ult. That shit is on an 80 energy cost. And that shit, 80 energy is a lot. Like, a lot. Like, as far as I know, there aren't that many characters in the game with an 80 energy cost. And I believe Zhongli is one of them. He might be 70 or 80, I don't know. But obviously that is a lot of energy to make up for. So her first constellation is going to help her with that self-sufficiency, since she's going to be able to generate much more energy every time she hits an enemy with her charge shot. So that's kind of the main thing that I see being her biggest con, aside from maybe the charge time. Like I said, we don't know until we actually use her whether or not her charge time is going to be super long in an actual fight, because then that would make her 6th con make a lot more sense. Because if I'm having to wait 5 minutes to fully charge an arrow, then yeah, I'd probably want to get that removed. But other than that, also the fact that she's a ranged carry, that shit is hard to build for. Now, you can get away with making team comps a lot easier for melee characters because you're going to be in range to do it. Whereas the way I'm looking at her right now, unless you have Venti or Sucrose, those two automatically will go in tandem with her because they'll remove enemy elemental resistance. Whereas Ganyu, she can't really do much with anybody. Like, you can pair her with Fischl, sure, but like, that superconduct isn't going to do shit. You're not using physical damage, you're using just ice damage. So we look at all the ice supports, like, the only one that'll actually work is probably Diona, because like that's pretty much it. You use Diona to help you battery, she gives you a shield, she can heal you, you know, so on and so forth. But I'm not really seeing any other characters, like, and I'm dumb. It could be that I'm just not looking at it yet. So I don't know. You'd have to probably look around and figure that out for yourself. But as far as I'm seeing right now, like there's not too many characters that will be able to pair well with a ranged carry like that. But I don't know. Like I said, she's not out yet. Hey, she looks like a really good DPS main character because her playstyle to me is really interesting. I mean that shit. She looks like a mage. She looks more like a mage than she does an archer. Like Fischl is probably the most pure archer DPS carry that you're gonna have because all she does is regular attack from range. Whereas this character seems to be more of like a mage. You set up, you get your spacing, and you throw out your elemental damage. And I like mages. It's just none of them are that fucking great. A lot of them are once again just good as supports. I'm really looking forward to characters that can main DPS and like kind of break that mold because a lot of the characters that aren't melee are generally supports. Including even Chill goes to fucking melee to be a DPS carry. It's just really hard to make kits for characters that are ranged to be DPS mains. Like we do have characters like Klett who can fucking be a ranged DPS carry, but she's generally kind of hard to use, contrary to the people who are already using her. But I don't know. I can't wait to get her. I'm gonna try her out, see how she feels. If I actually like her, I'm gonna get her first con, possibly her second con. Other than that, I'm just saving for Zhao. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, then hey, do your thing. If you don't like it, you can also do your thing. Ciao.